Hello friends, let us now learn about the last video on the amino acid cystine. So, let us see how the cystine is degraded. This degradation of cystine is just optional, not that important. Okay, it is just has an information I am giving this. Okay, but it is optional, not important. This cystine gets converted to cystine in the this cystine gets converted to cystine in the presence of cystine reductase. This cystine in the presence of decarboxylase, it gets converted to mercaptoethanolamine. This mercaptoethanolamine combines with pantothenate and it forms coenzyme A. Then this cystine undergoes desulfhydrase and it forms pyruvate. This pyruvate in the presence of cystine dioxygenase, it forms cystine sulfate. This cystine combines with half oxygen and it forms cystic acid. This cystic acid in the presence of decarboxylase, it forms taurine, which combines with cholic acid and it forms taurocholic acid. This cystic acid also forms pyruvate. This cystine sulfate removes the cystine and it forms sulfite. This cystine sulfate forms cystic acid and sulfite. This sulfite will form sulfate. This sulfate combines with ATP and it forms 3-phosphoadenosine and also 5-phosphosulfate. It forms 3-phosphoadenosine, 5-phosphosulfate, and finally it forms mucopolysaccharide detoxification occurs here. Right. So, during the degradation of cystine to cystine, we have the enzyme cystine reductase, which helps in the degradation of cystine to cystine, and during this process NAD plus gets converted to NADH++. This cystine undergoes decarboxylase and it forms this mercaptoethanolamine, and this mercaptoethanolamine combines with pantothenate acid and it forms coenzyme A. Then this cystine undergoes desulfhydrase, that is H2S is removed and it forms pyruvate. Cystine also undergoes cystine deoxygenase and it forms cystine sulfate. Then this cystine sulfate forms cystic acid and sulfate. This cystic acid undergoes decarboxylase and forms taurine and pyruvate. This taurine combines with cholic acid to form taurocholic acid. So this is how cystine is degraded, and this cystine will enter the pyruvate, that is it can enter the Krebs cycle. So this is a glucogenic amino acid. So if you see, this pathway is difficult. What you have to remember for sure is one thing: cystine at the end, it forms pyruvate, it can form taurocholic acid and it can form coenzyme A. So this cystine, as it can form pyruvate, it is a glucogenic amino acid. Thank you guys for watching my lecture. Thank you.